Ekam Shri Gurum Shri Udapadakamam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunathanidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakhanidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुदे देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरिः ओम तत्सत् नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते लोकनाथ स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वत देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे प्रियदाम ब्रह्म ऋषियो में सहा देव सहा अग्नयः साधूनां भ्रुवदो वृत्तम न ज्ञाना न च मत्सरा. All sages, brahmanas, and fire gods present, please hear me with attention. For I speak about the manners of gentle persons. I do not speak out of ignorance or envy. This is Daksha is speaking. So in the context that, so we know that in the previous chapters, the Maitreya Muni is explaining the last daughter of Daksha, Sati, is married to Lord Shiva. Since beginning, the Daksha didn't like Lord Shiva because of the marriage ceremony when Lord Shiva came with the snake on his on the neck and Jada, the long hair and matted and unclean in the sense of that, and with in it's ashes everywhere, and he lives in crematorium, and Daksha was even though Daksha is a great personality, the son of Brahma, but didn't recognize or didn't understand the who is Lord Shiva. Uh, but even though some extent, of course, they are Daksha and Shiva in one sense, and Shiva is manifested from Lord Brahma, and Daksha also manifested from the Lord Shiva, Brahma. So in some extent, they think that equivalent, but in fact, not properly understood who is Lord Shiva. So since beginning, there is little bit of inimical enviousness is there with the Lord Shiva, the Daksha and Lord Shiva. So that's where when Maitreya Muni said that because of then Sati married to Lord Shiva, and then she had to jump into the, she had to emulate herself that in the fire, so that in an immature state, and then Vidura was inquiring about about Lord Mother Sati from the Maitreya. So then then why there is a quarrel between Daksha and Lord Shiva, even though they are great personalities, even though Sati was very dear to Daksha, and then of course, then Daksha should be very dear to Lord Shiva as his, as Daksha's son-in-law. But why there is a quarrel between, Daksha and Lord Shiva? So in this way, then Maitreya Muni started to reply to that. So once upon a time, in the beginning of there was all the great leaders of this world, all the great leaders of this universe. They came together. They started to perform a big yajna, big sacrifices, and then pretty much everybody was assembled there. Lord Brahma was there, Lord Shiva was there, all the demigods, great personalities, sages. They were in the arena of this yajna. That's the time Daksha came. Daksha was effulgence and radiances and very powerful, and seeing like suns are, just coming out like this. And as soon as Daksha entered into the arena of the sacrifice, then everybody stood up except Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. As Lord Brahma as the father, and then Lord Shiva, of course, he is the supreme personality of Godhead, plenary portion of that, the Lord. And Lord Shiva doesn't have any inimical, or Shiva doesn't have any enviousness or pride or jealousy or anything out of any of the person. He is the supreme Lord. He is beyond. He is even, it's mentioned that he is even beyond the birth and death, Lord Shiva. But all the other personalities even subjected to birth and death. But Lord Shiva is beyond the birth and death. So Lord Shiva is understood that his position, and Lord Shiva was mentioning in the later. Lord Shiva always, he is completely spiritual. He doesn't look at that the bodily aspects of any living entity. He doesn't see that, oh, he is so beautiful, he is so great, he is that, he is this. His Lord is doesn't goes as per the bodily conceptions of the life, but the living entity is the jiva in this material world. They go as per the living, the bodily conceptions of the life. So that makes him so ignorant in such a way that I think, duplicities and egos and mata, malsarya, that's what is mentioned here in this verse. So then Daksha started to speak, all sages, Brahmanas, fire gods present, please hear me with attention. So when Daksha saw that Lord Shiva didn't pay much respect and obeisances, he didn't, stand up, and then Daksha became so angry. Daksha took it as an offense. But now he started to speak like diplomatically that no, 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 I'm going to speak. How this, the gentleness is, what is the gentleness? And here that we can see that there are some are not following that gentleness. So I speak about manners of the general person. So in this is not out of envious or out of ignorance, I do not speak. So this is Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, there is the way that people very diplomatically talk. They have something in their mind, but they express something else. So this is the way that they think that they can convince, but the people can easily understand this. So this is called duplicity, and easily one can understand this. So it is mentioned that this all happening, even though Daksha started to speak and he could understand that this is out of envy that the Daksha is started to speak. So we know that in the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, and especially this pastimes, the story of Daksha Yag or sacrifice of Daksha, there is many chapters continuously going and explaining about all the ordeals, all the incidents happened in this yaga just because of that envy, that out of that enviousness, then Daksha started to rebuke and uses the bad words and offend Lord Shiva. So this is a very big problem, dear devotees. Why is it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam in this context of it? Because of Srimad Bhagavatam, we can see everything that how one can come out of the anarthas. So this is anartha. This is part of anarthas of a person. So envy is an anartha. Malsara is enviousness. So there are six anarthas: kama, krodha, moha, lobha, mada, malsarya. Kama means the lust, and krodha means anger. Kama, krodha, mada, malsarya, right? Kama, krodha, mada, malsarya. The lust, greed, and anger, and then krodha, then enviousness is the malsara, envy. So here, the enviousness is one of the anartha. So that leads to such an extent, and it's destroy the person. Then one develops that enviousness. Not that it's like a seed which happens in the heart of anybody. That when we started to develop this enviousness, doesn't stop there. Then it's developed, it grows, it's like a seed, and it's become a big tree. And then the person who sees that such a way that then he started to kill, even that he takes that such a step, even goes beyond, and then when he ready to kill that person, that enviousness grows. So we know that in the many situations, these anarthas, kama, krodha, moha, lobha, mada, malsarya, these anarthas, there are Bhagavad explains that the who represents each one, right? That the Ravana, the Ravana, the represents the kama, the lust, and likes that the Kumbhakarna, likes that. So Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, and Shishupala and Dandavakra, they were all again, represents each anarthas, and that's a Bhagavatam mentioning these personalities and what did they do and how Lord intervened in order to eradicate. And we know that in the Krishna Leela, and there are so many demons comes, so many demons. These are all represents various anarthas and various shortcomings, various problems which arises within the heart of these people and the persons. So this we can see here in this verse also, that out of enviousness, that how Shishupala is rebuked Krishna. And all the time Shishupal was so much envious of Krishna because of his position. And when he look at Krishna, Krishna is now getting that kind of attention. He is becoming a king. He is so great personality. He's everybody respects him. Shishupala couldn't take this, and he was having this enviousness is there all the time in his heart, and that grows and that developed and in such a way that he couldn't even control himself. And when Krishna became the Agra Puja, when he became the prominent person that to worship in the Rajasuya Yagya, Shishupala couldn't tolerate it. Shishupala started to rebuke and rebuke and rebuke and uses bad words and offends him. And then the hundreds of the offenses just passed. Krishna just chopped the head of Shishupala. Similarly, we can see that here in the Daksha Yaga also. Later we can see that then the Veerabhadra chopped the head of the Daksha, chopped the head of Daksha. This is the enviousness. So we have to very much check this, our enviousness. What is envy? Because of envy is that whatever other person has, that have a habit, that has a mentality that he should not have, then I should have it. I should have it. This is envy. So that means if somebody has it, and then no, he should not have it, but I should have that. I am the person who is. So similarly, Daksha is thinking that no, that I should be the respected one. I should be here in this. Everybody got up, but only one person, the Lord Shiva. He was my son-in-law, but Lord Shiva, Daksha was in the borderly concept of life and thinking that everybody should respect me, that which nobody else should have that kind of respect. Instead of Daksha supposed to give respect to Lord Shiva, rather Daksha was looking that I should get the respect from the Lord Shiva. So this is called envy. That we think that okay, if somebody comes, oh, everybody should respect me, rather than we think, oh, I should give the respect to others. See, in the Chaitanya Charita, in the Shashtakam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadakare. Do not expect any respect from anyone. Do Amanina Manadena and give always respect to everyone else. So this is what is the position of a devotee. This is the position of a devotee. So always we have to check this and remember this. So this way we can free from the enviousness of give respect to everyone. We know that Raghunath Das Goswami, and whenever Raghunath Das Goswami was those time the richest person on that time on the earth, and when Raghunath Das Goswami was on the Vrindavan on the banks of Radhakund, Raghunath Das Goswami paid the obeisance almost 2,000 people every day in each day. Whoever comes to him, whoever comes to Vrindavan, Raghunath Das Goswami was giving the Dandavat Pranam to each and everyone, no matter what, each and everyone. Almost says that almost 2,000 times Raghunath Das Goswami was paying obeisance to the devotees like this. So why? Because of understanding the true transcendental knowledge, true nature of a devotee. True nature of a devotee is always give respect to everybody else. Always give respect to everybody else. There is no doubt into that. So here, out of envy, the Daksha was expecting that respect from the great personality or from the Lord Shiva, and Daksha didn't understand. Or when everybody respect Lord Shiva, Daksha was burning with that enviousness in his heart. So this is where Daksha started to rebuke the using the bad words and offending Lord Shiva, and then what we can see there. So there are very beautiful sections here. There are aparadhas is out of there are four kinds of aparadhas. So we can see that there is Nama Aparad, Seva Aparad, Vaishnava Aparad, and then Jiva Aparad. So it's very important to see that, dear devotees. So where it's come from, all these anarthas? The anarthas come from our aparadhas. There is Nama Aparad. Nama Aparad means offenses against the holy name. A devotee, even though we say we are devotees, and we can see that When we look at the different or the devotees around the world, that we cannot say that we are pure devotees. We don't even say that we are into the medium section or the madhyama part platform. We cannot even say that even if we are a devotee, because we have so many anarthas within our heart. Even though we practice, but we have lots of anarthas, and especially when we look at it, we have these six enemies with us all the time. These six anarthas with us all the time. We have lust, we have greed, we have anger, we have illusion, we have enviousness, we have then all these duplicities, right? All these are there in all the respect. So it's very important that how one can come out of this anarthas. And otherwise, when we have anarthas, then it's very difficult to attain that the taste of the holy name. So we know that adau shraddha sadhu sangha bhajana kriya anartha nivurti. So this is called anartha nivurti. That means eradicating all our anarthas. Anartha nivurti. That means come out from all anarthas. And how one can come to that stage? That means when we chant the holy name very purely, that's called namaparat, right? When we have offenses against the holy name, then we cannot come to that anartha nivurti stage, anartha nivurti platform. So it's very important that we understand this fact very thoroughly. So these anarthas is happens. So we have four kinds of anarthas, or it's mentioned that as Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned that, or aparadha or anarthas. The offenses against the holy name or offenses towards the Sri Krishna. Holy name means any aparadhas, any offenses is actually leads to the anartha. So it's very clear. Then offenses towards Krishna Nam, that means there is also Nam Aparad, there is Seva Aparad, there is offenses against the service to the Supreme Lord. Then Vaishnava Aparad. This is the again in the case of Daksha, this was a Vaishnava Aparad. Vaishnava Aparad means offenses against the devotees of the Lord. We know that Vaishnava Namida Shambhu Shambhu, Lord Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava. So, because of our ego, because of our enviousness, because of our anarthas, so we do this every day. We offend the devotees. We start to, we don't give respect to everybody. Think, oh, I should get because of I have this position. I become so and so and so in this path of bhakti. I am so and so this one. And one time, Dhanurdhara Maharaj was giving this one example. There was 89 years old of a devotee, 89 years old. He couldn't even hardly see it in Vrindavan, hardly could get anything and hardly could walk. There was one devotee came and instructed that everybody should go, and there is a place that, there is certain things to be organized and everybody should, help. So this first person got up, that 89-year-old, that devotee, and he was very senior. Everybody was respecting. He just got up and he just went to that place to, what the devotee said, that he needed some help, some service. So irrespective of that, who I am, who would, this is called a Vaishnava. This is called always give respect, always give something. And this is Krishna consciousness, dear devotees. Krishna consciousness is not that what I can get from it. Krishna consciousness is that what I can do, what can I give to devotees, what I can do for devotees, what I can do for the Lord, what I can serve for the Lord, what I can do. The Krishna, this is the perfect stage, the stage that which we can come to that stage, that what I can do for the devotees, what I can serve, how can I do it, what I can contribute. Not that what I can get from it. Oh, if I come to temple, I get this one, I get this one, I get that one. Okay, let me go to the temple so that I get prasadam. Let me go to here and there. Let me get that one. Let me go to this one. So when I do something, oh, I get name and fame. When I chant the holy name, so everybody will appreciate me. And this is our attitude. This is called anarthas. This anarthas has to eradicate. So the one way of the we can come out of envy is that we should always give respect to everybody, each and every living entities, and we should give respect and always think that amanina pranadabi sunijana taroriva sagashrana amanina mananina kirtaniya sudagri. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu how beautifully mentioned this one. This is the true nature of a devotee. Then we can chant the holy name. That's where when we chant the holy name properly, then only we can come out from anartha nivurti. Bhajana kriya. After bhajana kriya, we come to the stage of this anartha nivurti. So it's very, very important to understand this. So the way that we can come out of our envy is that give respect to give. instead of taking. The taking is a self-conscious or self-centered attitude, self-centered nature of a person, self-centered attitude of a person. Okay, I can get this, I can. No, always give that. Open the heart to give something. So sometimes we say that when we give, that is where the most happiness and most satisfaction, rather than when we take or consume. When we give, that's why whenever we give charity, when we serve the devotees, whatever the way we can give, so that we'll get more satisfaction than when we take something out of anything. So we should not have that kind of mindset and mentality. Always give. So this way, when we give respect to each and every living entity, then this gives that, we will be free from that, the biggest anartha of that envy, that which leads to that the destruction. So like that, various aparadhas which leads to anarthas in the devotee, life, devotees, life. That means nama aparad, seva aparad, and then Vaishnava aparad. Then there is also called jiva aparad. That means even though when we come to this platform of, then we ignore the other living entities, or we make, some way or other, we make all the aparadhas. So we should free from all this jiva aparad. Jiva aparad means offenses against other living entities. That we should not. I mean, some way or other, we should be always respect each and every life. That's our scriptures. That is our Sanatana Dharma. Give respect to every one of them. So, like that, then there are so many instructions like that. What leads to these anarthas, what leads to aparadhas. So there are, these anarthas arising from the sin, that this our conditioning. Then the previous lifetimes we were going through sinful activities, so we get the birth accordingly. Then accordingly we get the modes of material nature. When we get that the mode of ignorance, passion, we act accordingly, and unknowingly or knowingly, that we makes all the anarthas, aparadhas, this way. So this way, but when we come to this proper understanding and started to, this Krishna consciousness, then we can easily free from all these various kinds of anarthas. So then, otherwise, what happens, like Daksha, just but because of that envy, and that created such a great fight between this demigods and the curses. This chapter is titled as Daksha curses Lord Shiva. So we can see that how that much extent it went to, and Daksha curses Lord Shiva, that and says that, you should not be worshipped by anyone, and if anybody worships you, they will all in vain, and they will not attain anything. They will be all become imposed. This is the curse that Daksha, because of envy. See how extent that envy goes, and this is our right example to devotees in every one of us, that some extent or other, that enviousness is there. That means I should be in the center. I should be respected. I should be the person who has to get everything, rather than thinking that, I should give respect to everyone. So this is the one way that we can come out of this, the greatest enemy of our progress in bhakti, that is called enviousness. So especially in the devotee community, this is very prominent. And there are groups and there are people, and they started to blasphemy. We know that the first and foremost of the Namaparad is to blasphemy the devotees who are dedicated their life for the Supreme Personality. Blasphemy the devotees, blasphemy. That means offending and using all this bad, talking negative about it, and offending, and then gossiping, and oh, that person, this person, this person. We develop this is like a seed, because where the seed come from, our false ego, it develops in such a way that, and it grows and grows and grows and grows, and such one point of time, such an enmity they create. They don't even talk. And we heard from the many devotees in the community, they don't even talk. I saw that in when I went to New Vrindavan one day in the morning. There are some devotees have some clashes, some devotees have some, hatred each other. And then there was an elderly devotee who was assigned this early morning, the Mangala, the Samsara Dava. So elderly devotee was supposed to, he is the, he was assigning devotees. And there was another person, he was also a bit senior, he was there living there for some time, and he didn't like it, and he thought, and the person was assigned to sing the Samsara Dava morning prayers. Then instead of, he just pushed him away, and he started to, and then there was a big quarrel in front of the Lord. So a lot of always happens this in the devotees. So very important, dear devotees. That's why this very, the story, this pastimes here mentions Srimad Bhagavatam. It's very, very important to check that. We should not have this envy of any of the devotee at all at any point of time. oh, he's growing, better, he's growing bigger, he getting name and fame and everything, he's growing faster, I'm not getting it. This is envy. This is envy. So I don't have. Why he is having? So I should be the only one to have. So this is the greatest enemy. We should always check. This will really tamper our devotion, and then it grows and grows. And one point of time will be completely away from all the Krishna consciousness. Creates such a, and then he goes away. He goes away from the devotee. Now he cannot even see that devotee. And if that devotee comes, he get up and go. So many things we can see in this. So it's very important, dear devotees, that always give respect, always ready to give, and always ready to offer rather than taking anything. This is Krishna conscious. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam is uphold all these wonderful, wonderful pastimes. So thank you so much. Let me stop here with this note. So thank you so much, dear devotees, for this wonderful sangha. If there are any questions, concerns, comments, please post it in the Nityam Bhagavata area. Kundaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Back to you, Madhuvati Prabhu.
Thank you, Simesha Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhu, 1 minute. Simesha Prabhu, can you post that file which you showed about the anarthas, please?
Yes, I will post it. Yes.
Thanks.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you very much. We would like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. And we'd like to offer our praise to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna.
Nrsinga Jai Nrsinga Jai Jai Nrsinga Praladesha Jaya Padmanka Padmanabhindam Gravira Mahavishnu Prabhukham Nrsingham Vishnum Bhatram Nityam Nityam Nrsinga Bhagwan ki Jai ki Jai.
Jai.
That's a Paravamala Vishnus to all the Samal Vaishnavas,
Panchakalpataru Vaisya Kripa Sindhavaicha Patitanam Pavani Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo
Vaishnavinda ki Jai, Granth
Jai.
Bhagavatam ki Jai, Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai. Hari 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 Bol.
Thank you, Simesha Prabhu.
Thank you, everybody. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.